Hey, welcome back, guys. I'm Mrs. Davison, and I'm so glad you joined me for the next part of our lesson. It's a good one, and I'm really impressed. You're doing really well with this. Sometimes facts and details can be kind of tricky, but not for you. You've been doing an amazing job. Way to go, guys. I'm proud of you. So I'm so glad you came back and joined us for the second part of the lesson. We were talking about those words, facts and details, and I'm going to give you a minute to think about what a fact is. Ready? I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, do you think you could tell me what a fact is? Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes! Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Facts are things that can be proven. Bravo. Great job, guys. So then what's a detail? If facts are things that can be proven, what is a detail? Do you want 3 more seconds? Okay, here you go. 1, 2, 3. Are you already a second grader? That was amazing. Yes. Details are things that support the facts. So we were learning about that just a little while ago. Sorry, my phone keeps falling down. And I have a book today that's kind of going to help us understand that a little bit more. Why facts are important, but also how details help to paint a really great picture about those facts. And sometimes they help us get an image in our mind of what the author's trying to say. And sometimes if you are a really good writer, you can make people see a picture in their head with your words by choosing a fact, but then by writing a lot of detail about it. It could start to actually kind of come alive for them. So good writers and good readers both use facts and details. Wow, good job. So I picked a nonfiction book today because I find that sometimes these books have a lot of facts in them and then a lot of supporting details to help you learn. And this is actually called How and Why Insects Visit Flowers. So in this story, we are going to be seeing some facts about those insects, and then there's going to be some information that supports those facts too. So we're going to read this nonfiction book, and the author's Elaine Paco, and there's no illustrator. Why do you think there's no illustrator? You're right, because these pictures are actual photographs. They're not pictures that are drawn or colored. And I'm going to show you those a couple of people. So this right here, she's our author. That's Elaine. And it's telling us that she's written over 20 books in her lifetime. So she's a very famous author. And she likes to write about nonfiction. Now, I know I said there wasn't an illustrator, but does anybody know what the person who provided the pictures for this book would be called? Not an illustrator. He would be a photographer. Oh my gosh, you guys are so good. His name is Dwight Kuhn, and he likes to take pictures of nature. And remember, things in nature are things found outdoors that aren't man-made, that grow and that are just out there. So here we go. How and why insects visit flowers. I'm going to try to hold this so you can see it. Here we go. A butterfly has landed on a flower. It is searching for nectar, a sweet liquid in the flower's center. This butterfly is a yellow tiger swallowtail. Nectar is its main food. The butterfly pushes its long tongue deep into the flower to drink. Wow, look at that. And guess what? Here's a fact right there that the butterfly is a yellow tiger swallowtail. And then there's detail telling about that specific insect. And it's saying that its main food is nectar and that it uses its long tongue to get a drink. So there's my fact. There's my details. If my fact was just there, this butterfly is a yellow tiger swallowtail. I really wouldn't know much about it, but with those details, I learned so much more. Details are very important. Ants and bees come to flowers to get nectar too. These insects do not know it, but they help the plants that they visit. So those sound like some facts. They're telling us how these insects help plants. Let's see if there's some details on the next page. You let me know if you hear any. As the insects search for food, they are dusted with powdery yellow pollen. They carry grains of pollen from one flower to the next. This allows the flowers to form fruits and seeds. Well, look at that. On this page was the fact, and on this page, those were the details. It told how they helped. Wow. Kind of noticing a pattern. There's like a fact, then details. A fact, then details. Are you noticing that too? Okay, here we go. A flower is a bee magnet. Okay, I put an F there to tell me that was a fact. So a bee magnet would mean that bees just love to be on them and be near them. Let's see if there's some details. Its scent and color attract bees and other insects. To a bee, flowers glow with colors that you cannot see. Those were details. I didn't know that. I didn't know that bees see colors differently than we do. That detail helped me understand that. Whoa. A red flower may seem blue or purple to a bee. The flower looks different to the bee because the bee can see ultraviolet light. People cannot see this type of light. So again, it told a detail about how the bee sees. Wow. Bees are pretty interesting. Okay. A bumblebee gathers pollen as well as nectar. I don't know, do you guys think that's a fact or a detail? A bee gathers pollen as well as nectar. Did you say fact? Yes, you are right. It was a fact. And let's see those details that tell about it. The bee collects nectar in its crop near its stomach. It collects pollen on its hind legs. Again, we had a fact and lots of details. Look at that. Oh no, bees are kind of scary, but they really are helpful to our environment. I wonder what that is. Huh. Brushy hairs on each of the bee's hind leg form a sort of pollen basket. When the pollen baskets are full, the bee flies back to its nest. So that's where the bee stores the pollen. Nature is so amazing, isn't it? At the nest, the bumblebee shares the nectar and the pollen with the other members of the colony. That's a lot of bees. And I know last year when you went to Kelkenberg Farm, you got to see a bee colony. And there were lots of worker bees, and there was a queen bee too. Bees store extra pollen and nectar in a little wax chamber called a honey pot. That sounds like a fact. Let's see if there's any details. This stored food is very important. It will be eaten by young bees as they develop into adults. Wow. Those were some great details that explain that fact. Look at him. This is a striped cucumber beetle. It is not interested in pollen or nectar. It has come to eat the petals of the flower. It has already chewed away big sections of the petals. Insects such as the striped cucumber beetle do not help plants like bees do. If these insects eat a plant's flowers, the plant will not be able to form seeds. Wow, so again, there was a fact and there were lots of details. The fact was that that beetle destroys flowers, and then they told us lots of details about that. This insect is hiding among some gardenrod flowers. It is an ambush bug. To this insect, flowers are hunting ground. The ambush bug preys on other insects. So I want you to look at him. Do you know what an ambush is? An ambush is kind of like when someone takes someone by surprise and not usually in a good way. Why do you think this bug would be called an ambush bug? Did you say because he's kind of camouflaged? He's kind of hiding in there? If I were to cover up his eye, he kind of is camouflaged and looks like he's part of that flower. Whoa. But his job is to catch bugs and eat them for dinner. Let's see. There he is. When a fly or a beetle or some other insect visits the goldenrod, the ambush bug strikes. In an instant, the bug has caught its dinner. Wow. So a fact was that ambush bugs hide in flowers, and all of those details were about how he eats the bugs. The end. So I hope you understand a little bit more about facts and details. I know they could be tricky, and I just want you to know that you probably have a lot of facts about your life, but you also have a ton of details. So if you were to actually sit down and maybe write a paragraph or a few sentences about yourself and maybe start out with a really good fact like, I am 7 years old or I'm 6 years old, and then you go on to tell me some details about you. Maybe you might say, I am 7 years old, I go to Mullen School, I have 2 brothers and a sister. You would just be kind of filling us in on your life and making us understand you a little bit better. So thanks for listening. I know this was kind of a long one, but you did a good job. And I hope you have a great day today. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, facts and details are important in reading and in writing. Okay.